Hello students, welcome to my channel The Science World, and if you find this video useful for you, then please like, comment and share with your friends. Also subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get notification of my upcoming videos. Students, in our last video we have discussed about the feeding habits in different organisms. Okay, in this video we are going to discuss about the nutrition in human beings. So let's start. We will start with the process of nutrition. What is nutrition? The process of obtaining food, digestion, absorption and utilization of food by the body is called nutrition. What is nutrition? It is the intake of food. That means to obtain the food, to digest it, then absorb it in the body, and then utilization of that food by the body. This whole process is known as nutrition. There are various steps of nutrition such as ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So what is ingestion? Ingestion is the taking in of the food inside the body. Taking in of the food inside the body, it is called ingestion, and in human it takes place through mouth. Okay. What is digestion? It is the breaking down of the various complex nutrients present in the ingested food, and it is broken down and converted into simpler and soluble substances. This process is called digestion. We know that food contains many complex substances or nutrients, and if they are not broken down into simpler soluble substances, then body will not be able to absorb it. Okay. The next is absorption. Absorption is the process of absorbing the digested food by the body to reach in the blood. Absorbed food material or absorbed nutrients or digested food, it is released into the blood and then it is carried to the different parts of the body. Then what is assimilation? Assimilation is the utilization of absorbed food materials. Utilization means to use these absorbed food materials or nutrients for the process of growth, reproduction or repair by the living organism. So all the life processes are carried out by using this food, that is nutrients. And the last is egestion. Egestion is the removal of undigested food and solid waste material from the body, and if we will not remove this undigested food or solid waste material from the body, then it will be harmful for our body. So it is very necessary to remove it, and this process is known as egestion. Okay. Next we have nutrition in human beings. We know that in humans, hands help in the process of taking food into mouth, and this is called ingestion. Further, the digestion of ingested food is carried by the digestive system, and we have already studied about the digestive system in our previous classes also. So digestive system is consist of mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, gallbladder, pancreas and anus. And the part of digestive system from the esophagus to the anus, is called alimentary canal. Different parts of the digestive system are mouth, tongue, salivary glands, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. These are the different organs of digestive system. Here we have the diagram of digestive system. You can see it starts from the mouth here and ends to the anus. You can see all the parts, salivary glands, then esophagus, liver, gallbladder, then pancreas are situated behind the stomach. Here yellow color you can see, that is pancreas, small intestine, appendix, then stomach, large intestine, rectum and anus. So these are the different parts of digestive system. Okay. Now next we will start with mouth. Okay. So before going further, we will just take a look at the main functions of this digestive system. Okay, so this digestive system, what are the functions? First, ingestion of food. Food is taken into the body. Second, secretion of fluids and digestive systems. During the process of digestion, many fluids or digestive juices and enzymes are secreted. Then third, mixing and movement of food and waste through the body. Then fourth, digestion of food. Fifth, absorption of nutrients. And the last, sixth is excretion of waste from the body. So these are the main functions of digestive system. So let's start with the mouth. The process of digestion starts inside the mouth, or we can say buccal cavity. It is also known as buccal cavity. It contains different types of teeth. Okay, teeth help in chewing the food and break into small pieces. This process is known as mastication. Mastication is chewing the food and break down into smaller pieces with the help of teeth. This process is known as mastication. In human, teeth grow twice in their lifespan. मतलब the first set of teeth is called temporary teeth and second set of teeth is called permanent teeth. So we have two sets of teeth in our life, that is temporary teeth and permanent teeth. Let's see the diagram. See here, this is the permanent temporary teeth, set of temporary teeth, and here it is set of permanent teeth. Okay, so here you can see that this set, that is temporary set of teeth, it consists of 20 teeth. You can count here 1 2 3 4, then 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 teeth in upper jaw and 10 teeth in lower jaw. So total 20 teeth are there, and they develop in a child from 5 to 6 months till 2 years, and children start losing these temporary teeth by the age of 6 to 8. So this 10 and this 10, total 20 teeth are there in the set of temporary teeth. Then when milk teeth falls off one by one, the new teeth appear and remain for the whole life, and these are called the permanent teeth. Okay, these are the 32 in number, that is 16 in the upper jaw and 16 in the lower jaw, and they are of different types. So we will see them. What are the types? Incisors. Okay, there are 4 incisors in the upper jaw and 4 incisors in the lower jaw. These are the front teeth. They are present in the front of the mouth and they help to bite the food. There are total 8 incisors. They are present in the mouth, 4 in each jaw. The next teeth are the canines. They are 4 in number, 2 in upper jaw and 2 in lower jaw. This one, 2 in upper jaw and 2 in lower jaw. So there are 4 canines, and these canines help to tear the food, or they help in tearing the food. Okay, then next teeth are premolars. Next to the teeth on each side of jaw are premolars, just either side of this canines. Okay, so these premolars are next to the canines. They are 18 numbers. You can see here this one and this one, and here this and this one. Here also you can see these two are there. So these are the premolars. They are total 18 number, 4 in upper jaw, 4 in lower jaw, and they help in crushing and grinding the food. Then next teeth are molars. They are here. They are the last teeth. 3, 3, 3 and 3. 6 in upper jaw, 6 in lower jaw. Total 12 molars are there, and they help to chew the food and grind the food well. Okay, so these are the teeth. What is special about this teeth is the enamel of the teeth, that is the outer covering of the teeth. It is very hard. It is the hardest part of our body. Okay, and that's why we have to take care of this teeth, because if you will not take care the teeth, uh, then by brushing or cleaning them after each meal, gradually these teeth become yellowish due to accumulation of some sticky film containing food particles and that are mixed with saliva, and this is called plaque. Okay, so this plaque is very means smelly also. Smell comes when this plaque is there on your teeth. Okay, the sugary food, if you eat sugary food, means having sugar in it like sweets and chocolates, then this food material present in the plaque is converted into acids by some bacteria. We know that there are bacteria in our mouth, and they are generally present in the mouth but do not harm us. Okay, and the acid produced by these bacteria, they damage the enamel. Enamel is the outer covering of our teeth. Okay, and this damage causes tooth decay and leads to the formation of cavity, which causes severe pain, and therefore we should take care of our teeth by brushing them twice a day. When we talk about the dental care, we should do something to take care of our teeth, and there are some things that we should not do. So let's see the do's and don'ts. First is brush teeth regularly and thoroughly every day before going to bed and in the morning before eating anything. Then second is do not eat too much of foods like sweets, chocolates, toffees and ice creams. After eating this, brush your teeth well. Then third one, as fluorine is good for teeth, so doctor also recommends the fluoride toothpaste. Okay, so use fluoride toothpaste to brush your teeth. Then do not try to bite and break hard materials with your teeth, they may damage your teeth. Then do not eat or drink too hot or too cold food or drinks, because they also damage the teeth. Then last one, eat lot of vegetables and fruit foods which are rich in vitamins and minerals. See, vitamins and minerals, they are the protective food, they protect us from different diseases also, and these are very important for our teeth also, so that your gums and teeth, they will remain healthy. Okay, so if you want to keep yourself away from these cavities, then you should do whatever things are just I told you. Okay, then we have tongue. This is another part or organ in the mouth. Okay, it is a flat muscular organ attached to the back from the floor of the buccal cavity. So this tongue is attached to the floor of the buccal cavity. It is a muscular organ, no bone is there. It is important organ because it performs very important functions, like it helps to mix saliva with food. When we eat food or when we chew the food, saliva mixes in the food in our mouth. Okay, so tongue helps the food to mix with the saliva. It helps to find out the taste of food, what food we are eating, the taste we know because of this tongue. So it is very important. If tongue is not there, then we will not able to find out the taste of food. It helps in swallowing the food. Whatever food we eat, it should be pushed into the esophagus, and for pushing this or for swallowing this food, tongue is very important organ. Tongue contains taste buds, okay, that helps to determine the different taste of food, that is bitter, sour, sweet and salty. So these are the tests, and we know this taste because of this taste buds. So these taste buds are there. You can see four types of taste buds: sour, bitter, salty and sweet. These four taste we know because of this test. Okay, taste buds. Then next is salivary glands. Salivary glands are present in the mouth, and they secrete a digestive juice called saliva. Okay, saliva contain an enzyme called amylase, that break down the starch into the sugar. That means the digestion of food, it actually starts in the mouth only, and this enzyme, that is amylase, or this amylase is also called taline. It is also called taline. Okay, so this taline or the amylase enzyme, it breaks down starch into sugar. So the breakdown or breaking down of these carbohydrates, it starts into the mouth. Here you can see the different locations of salivary glands in the mouth. These are the parotid glands, these are sublingual gland, and these are submandibular gland. These are the different locations of this salivary glands. Okay, then next organ is esophagus. Esophagus, it is a hollow tube. Hollow tube means it is just like a pipe, something can move within it. Okay, and it connects mouth to the stomach. Esophagus connects mouth to the stomach. Here food is pushed downward by the contraction of the wall, and then this wall relaxes and next part of the esophagus contracts. So this creates a wave like movement like this. It creates a wave like movement, and this movement is known as peristalsis, and the food is pushed like this. Suppose here the food is there. The food or the ball of food, it is known as bolus. It is known as bolus. So it is pushed like this. So this process or wave like process of this esophagus, that is the contraction and relaxation, it is known as peristalsis. So here you can see the picture of this esophagus, or we can say food pipe. This brown color part you see, it is food pipe. Okay. And here above the larynx, epiglottis is present. What is present? Epiglottis. This epiglottis is a flap like structure, cartilaginous flap like structure at the end of the larynx. Here this is larynx. Okay, this is larynx, and here this epiglottis is present. And what is the function of this epiglottis? When a person swallows the food, the epiglottis folds backward to cover the entrance to the entrance of the larynx, so that food or liquid will not enter to the into the windpipe and lung. So it acts as a switch between the larynx and the esophagus. Here I will show you another picture here. Here you can easily know. So this is the epiglottis. Here also this is flap like structure is there. So when food is coming into the esophagus, okay, that time this epiglottis closes the larynx and the food goes into esophagus. Okay, so it closes the way of this larynx, upper part of the larynx. Okay, and because of this epiglottis, the food does not enter into the windpipe. Okay, this peristalsis process, just I told you about this peristalsis, contraction and relaxation of the esophagus. Okay, so it is a series of involuntary wave like muscle contractions. Involuntary means we cannot control it. When food is pushed into the esophagus, then there is no control over it. It will go with the this peristaltic movement. Wave like muscles, they contract and relax, and which pushes the food along the digestive tract. Means this peristaltic movement, it occurs in small intestine and large intestine also. Okay, so food is pushed throughout the alimentary canal by the movement of peristalsis. Okay, here you can clearly see the food that is pushed into the esophagus by the process of peristalsis. Then next we have stomach. Okay, so stomach is a J-shaped structure. It is J-shaped structure and the stomach receives food from the esophagus at one end, and it opens into a small intestine at the another end. Okay, the gastric glands that are present in the inner wall of stomach which secrete gastric juices. There are glands present in the inner wall of the stomach. Okay, and these secrete gastric juices. These juices contain enzyme. Enzymes are the chemical substances that are required for the digestion. Okay, and these enzymes help to digest the food. Stomach also secretes mucus and hydrochloric acid or HCl. Hydrochloric acid or HCl, it kills the bacteria present in the food, and mucus protects the lining of stomach from hydrochloric acid. Mucus protects the lining of stomach from hydrochloric acid, because we know that acids are corrosive. So when there is what we can say extra secretion of this acid in our stomach, then we say that we are feeling like acidity, and sometimes there is some irritation in our throat also because of this acid. So this acid is controlled by this mucus. Okay, so this is about the stomach. It is a J-shaped structure, and it is connected to the esophagus at one end and the small intestine to the another end. Here you can see connection. So this esophagus is connected here at the upper end, and at the lower end it is connected with the small intestine. This is J-shaped bag. Okay. Then we have small intestine. It is the longest part of the alimentary canal, that is 7.5 meter long, and it is also the site of complete digestion. Here in the small intestine, food is completely digested. Here carbohydrates are completely broken down into glucose, then fats are broken down into fatty acids and glycerol, and proteins are broken down into amino acid. Means all the nutrients, they are separated here from the food. That means the food is broken down into different substances. Okay, then here in small intestine, two glands also help, because they secrete their juices in the small intestine. That is, these glands are liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile. Liver secretes bile, which gets stored in sac-like structure called gallbladder. I have shown you in the this diagram, and just you take a look here once again. Take a look so that you will know that. Okay, here, so here this is the liver. Okay, it secretes bile. Then this green color part, you can see, this is gallbladder, and this bile is stored into the gallbladder. Then here this yellow color organ is there behind the stomach. It is pancreas, and pancreatic juice, or we can say pancreatic amylase is situated, it is secreted from this pancreas, and this both the secretions or both the liquids, they are released into the small intestine. Okay, you can see the picture here. This is bile, this is gallbladder, then pancreas, and their secretion goes into the small intestine. Okay, so chyme, what is chyme? Chyme is the food, mixed food. It is semi-liquid form food which is mixed properly in the stomach, and here the water food is mixed properly, it is known as chyme. Okay, and then it is pushed into the small intestine, where these two liquids or two juices are mixed in it. The inner wall of this small intestine has millions of finger-like projections. They are called villi, or singular villus. So these villi are there. They are the finger-like structures like this. They are the finger-like structures, and they increase the surface area so that maximum absorption of digested food takes place. So their function is to increase the surface area, and this absorbed digested food reaches to the blood. Take a look at the villi. So this is the inner wall of the intestine, you can see here, and these are the all villi. They are present inside the intestine, small intestine. Okay, this is the another diagram of villi. This is small intestine, internal part of that internal wall or inner wall. Then here also you can see the folds, and these folds are there in the wall of the intestine, and on these folds these villi are present. Okay, on these folds these villi are present. Next is large intestine. The undigested food that remains in the small intestine, it passes to the large intestine. Okay, undigested food, the food which is not digested by the body. Okay, here some amount of water is absorbed by the walls of large intestine. So walls of large intestine, they absorb water from this undigested food, and remaining waste is passed to the rectum, and from here it is expelled from the body through the anus. The length of large intestine is 1.5 meters. In human beings, digestion takes place outside the cells in the alimentary canal, and that's why it is the extracellular digestion. This type of digestion is called extracellular digestion. Digestion does not take place inside the cell. It occurs outside the cells in the alimentary canal. So it is extracellular digestion. In our last video we have already discussed about the intracellular and extracellular digestion. Okay, so here is the large intestine. It can be divided into 4 parts, that is cecum, then this is the colon, then rectum and anal canal here. Okay, so here the cecum is there. These are the 4 parts. The longest part of the large intestine is colon. You can see the ascending colon, then transverse colon, descending colon, and the sigmoid colon here. Then this pink part, it is rectum last, and the it is anal canal, and anal canal opens here through the anus. Anus is present at the end of this anal canal. Okay, so these are the 4 parts of the large intestine. Then here one more organ is there, small vermiform appendix. Okay, what is it? It is a pouch like sac located in the cecum. Okay, this is the cecum of large intestine, and when it gets infected, okay, when it gets infected, this appendix, it is it swells up. It swells up, and then it is very painful, and then doctor advised that to remove it by the surgery. Okay, but what is the function of this appendix? What is the use of it for our body? Some people say that it is a vestigial organ, means of no use, but some people say that it is the reservoir for beneficial bacteria or useful bacteria, and it reboosts the digestive system after diarrheal illness. Suppose you have diarrhea or loose motions, and after that this bacteria or useful bacteria, they help you to recover from your illness. So appendix has, it is the reservoir of useful bacteria. Okay, in human beings, digestion takes place outside the cell in the alimentary canal, and this type of digestion is called extracellular digestion. We have already read it. Then many animals including humans cannot digest cellulose. Why? Because of the absence of an enzyme called cellulase. Cellulase is the enzyme that helps to digest cellulose. Okay, and we don't have this enzyme in our body digestive system, and that's why we cannot digest cellulose. Then nutrition in ruminants. Okay, nutrition in ruminants. Ruminants, who are the ruminants? Ruminants are the animals like cows, buffaloes and goats. You many times you may have seen that these cows and buffaloes, they are simply sitting, they are not eating anything, but they are chewing something in their mouth. Okay, and this chewing of the food, it is known as rumination, and the animals are known as ruminants. So the all the ruminants, they all plant cells consist of complex carbohydrate called cellulose. Just now we have read it, cellulose is present in the plant cells, and this digestion of cellulose requires special type of digestive system in which stomach is divided into 4 chambers, that is rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomasum. Okay, so these are the 4 parts of the stomach in a ruminant. Okay, and these ruminants, they are grass eating animals. Okay, so how they what is the way of this food through their stomach and intestine? Let us see how it is digested in their stomach and intestine. So this stomach has 4 parts. Okay, in grass eating animals like cows and goats, half chewed plant materials that reaches to the first chamber of the stomach, and it is called rumen. This pink color part you can see here. Okay, this is the first chamber of the stomach, that is rumen, and here bacteria act upon the cellulose. Whatever food eaten by the animal, it first goes to the rumen, and here bacteria are present and they digest this cellulose, they act on this cellulose. Then this partially digested food enters in the second chamber, that is reticulum. From here it comes to the reticulum. First it comes to the rumen, then reticulum. Here it is partially digested and then sent to the mouth. From here again it goes to the mouth, and here this animal chews it again. Okay, and this chewing of curd is the food that is sent to the mouth. Okay, half digested food, again it is sent to the mouth and it is known as curd. Okay, and this curd is again chewed in the mouth. So this chewing of curd is known as rumination, and that's why these animals are called ruminants. Okay, then after chewing this curd, this ruminated food, it is swallowed again it is swallowed, and it reaches directly to the third chamber. Now it will not go again into the first or second chamber, it will directly go to the third chamber, that is omasum. Here it will again come to the omasum. Then here ruminated food is broken down into smaller pieces, and then finally it reaches to the fourth chamber, that is abomasum. Here this yellow color part you can see, this is abomasum, and finally the enzymes convert the complex nutrients into simpler ones to complete the digestion. So these are the 4 parts of the stomach, and food goes through these all the 4 parts. Okay, so this type of digestion or digestive system we can see in the ruminants. Then one topic is there, small topic is there about diarrhea. Diarrhea is a very common in India, and it is especially found in children. This is caused by an infection or food poisoning or indigestion. Okay, and when there is indigestion or diarrhea, then you will feel like vomiting, and also frequent watery stool. You will experience frequent watery stool, means water will be removed from your body in the form of stool. So under severe conditions it may be fatal. Fatal means dangerous to your health. So because of the excessive loss of water and salt from the body, you may feel dehydrated. Okay, so it is one type of dehydration, and at this time patients need immediate treatment and should be given plenty of boiled and cooled water with a pinch of salt and sugar. Okay, so this is known as the oral rehydration solution or ORS, and the process of treatment is known as oral rehydration therapy. For dehydration we have to do rehydration. Okay, you may have noticed that your mother also gives you water containing salt and sugar when you have this type of loose motions or diarrhea. Okay, so here you can see some pictures of ORS. This is the ORS packet you will get from the medical shop. Doctors also prescribe it for your diarrhea. Then nowadays you can get the this drinks also, ORS drinks, in different flavors, that is orange, apple, and another orange, apple, cherry, uh, and many other flavors are there. Okay, so you should take this ORS liquid, or this powder is there in this pouch, and you have to mix it with the in the water, boiled and cold water. So your ORS will be ready. So this is the very useful remedy for this diarrhea. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe my channel. We will meet again in our next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.